viewers, and welcome once again to another episode of the Top Notch Coaching Network. My name is still Confidence in Me, and I'm your host as usual. Today, we want to continue with our discussion on the personal finance risk. We said that there are four of them, and in the introductory part and the opening episode, we talked about one of those finance risk. I will look at the income risk. And if you're interested to know what we discussed with regards to the income risk, you can log on to our channel on the YouTube at the Top Notch Coaching Network to view the video and access the information on it. But for today, we're going to move in straight ahead to the second type of personal finance risk. And today we're going to be talking about the expense risk. The expense risk. Every day when we wake up from our bed or we get down from our bed, we are involved in one expense or the other. It could be personal expense, it could be family expense, whatever the expense is, we are involved in expenses on a daily basis. When we talk about this expense risk, I want to look at it from two perspectives. And one of such perspectives is this. I want to talk about those who fund their lifestyles beyond their income or beyond what they earn. The side effect of this is this, that when we live beyond and above our means, it's quite difficult for us to achieve our financial goal. So if you are funding your lifestyle, you're earning $1,000 and your expenses by reason of the lifestyle you live is maybe $1,500, then you can barely achieve your financial goals. On the other hand, again, the second part of this expense risk I want us to look at is this: the emergency expenses. The emergency expenses. These are the expenses that come unannounced. They come uninvited. We are not expecting them, yet they come. Like my mentor will always say, that there are many things that God forbids, but that life permits. So when we talk about these emergency expenses, it could be maybe medical emergencies, it could be by reason of accident, maybe fire got in our business area, one thing or the other, maybe a child falling sick, just an expense that you did not plan for. And so this emergency expense risk is actually the place where a lot of us actually find ourselves in. So if you are either funding your lifestyle beyond your income, or you have emergency expenses, we are going to look at how then do we mitigate, at least to some extent, this expense risk. Because one thing is certain, I may be able to control how I spend my income, but I cannot determine the kind of emergencies that will come my way. So how then do we mitigate against these expense risk? The very first way I think we can mitigate against expense risk is by having multiple streams of income. That way, when one stream of income is hit, the other stream of income can sustain us. My mentor will say that if you have 9 streams of income, 9 of them cannot go wrong at the same time. So having multiple streams of income can help against our expenses. My mentor will always say that if my expenses is higher than my income, then my expenses will be my undoing. And until I am able to earn, until my passive income is higher than my active income, then I am still not financially free. So one way is to actually have multiple streams of income. It will help you meet up your financial goals in time, and it will also help you have enough resources on hand and on ground whenever an emergency occurs. Another way we can do this is definitely living within our income or what it is that we earn. Thirdly, we can budget. Budgeting has actually helped me. Being able to track my expenses has been a good way of managing my resources. So if you can budget your expenses, it will go a long way in helping you control your expenses. Then another way is to have emergency fund. that with emergency a living expense, they call it emergency fund, that can take care of you if you lose your job, if an accident happens, or if anything happens. An emergency fund can keep you for the next 6 to 1 year, even if you are not working. This is very, very vital. Emergency fund is quite vital. It depends on your needs and your family size. So an emergency fund is non-negotiable. You need it. Putting something aside, whether it is on daily or weekly basis or monthly basis, against emergency, is called an emergency fund. So you need an emergency fund. We all need an emergency fund while we journey to our place of financial independence. And finally, we can also mitigate against this expense risk by insurance. Insurance is one way of mitigating against expense risk, especially when it comes to incidences like accidents, medical conditions, or fire accidents, or any other thing. An insurance policy can actually help you in the time of emergency. It will help give you a soft landing to some extent, so while you gather yourself in the course of that issue. So this is where we'll stop for the night. When we come again next week, we will talk about the next type of personal finance risk. Till I come away again next time, thank you and God bless.